How many times have we heard you need to know the rules in order to break the rules? But what if, instead of fully breaking the rules, we decide to just put a twist on them instead? What would that do for you, your shows, your storytelling? How can taking something like the 32-bar chorus, ye old golden standard of musical theater's song form, and placing a twist on it be useful and effective? And what permission might it grant you to experiment with your own writing? Here are 5 examples of unusual 32-bar choruses in musical theater that, for whatever reasons, just simply work. Our first example comes from Lerner and Lowe's My Fair Lady, the song Just You Wait, also known as Just You Wait, Henry Higgins. The song begins with, just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait. You'll be sorry, but your tears will be too late. You'll be broke and I'll have money. Will I help you? Don't be funny. Just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait. That feels like an A section, and it is an A section. It's an interesting A section too, because it both starts with just you wait and ends with just you wait. That's your hook, twice. The car agrees. But that is a standard 8 bars. We're doing something that feels like an A section. Great, so we would expect that we're going to repeat that, right? Well, kind of. Our next A section is, again, an A section, but we're starting up a third. Here we have just you wait, Henry Higgins, you'll be sick, and you'll scream to fetch the doctor double quick. I'll be off a second later and go straight to the theater. Oh ho ho, Henry Higgins, just you wait. So we start up a third, but that is only for the first half of this A section. Right? Because then we have scream to fetch the doctor double quick. Then we do the same thing that we did before for the second half of the A. I'll be off a second later and go straight to the theater. Oh ho ho, Henry Higgins, just you wait. Same ending as our first A section. And again, with that hook happening both at the beginning and the end of the A. Ooh, interesting. Then we move on to our B section, and it is a standard B section. 8 bars, no hook. Oh, Henry Higgins, just you wait until we're swimming in the sea. Oh, Henry Higgins, and you get a cramp a little way from me. Final A section. Or is it? This last A section begins the same way our second A did, up that third from our first A section, but we're not going to start with the hook here. And then we're going to go somewhere else. We've seeded the A sound, but then, and it's not even an extension. So it may serve more as an A prime. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that. When you yell you're gonna drown, I'll get dressed and go to town. Oh ho ho, Henry Higgins. Oh ho ho, Henry Higgins. Just you wait. Interesting, right? So just to review what we just did, we had our first A section, just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait, right? And then we had second half of that being up here, but you broke and I don't have money, will I help you, don't be funny, great. Second A, however, starts up a third, right? Just you wait, Henry Higgins, till you're sick. But then the second half, again on the 7, I'll be off a second later, da 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 theater, right? Then B section, Henry Higgins. Coming back around to what feels like a final A is when you yell you're gonna drown, starting up that third, and I'll get dressed and go to town. Bring back that oh ho ho that we seeded in the second A section, but then we're gonna extend that idea, not the section, just the idea. Oh oh oh, Henry Higgins, oh oh oh, Henry Higgins, just you wait. And we are gonna end with our hook, so it's like A, B, A prime. Ooh, fancy Lerner and Lowe. Our next 32 bar is going to be a little bit weirder. That first one was close to what we normally do in a 32 bar course with that A, B, A sort of ish feel. This one, however, is very, very strange. This next song comes from one of my shows, The King's Legacy, and it was an accidental 32 bars. I didn't set out to write 32, but then I discovered it was 32, and it was working so very well. I wanted to know what was up with this form, but people love this song. They respond so freaking well to it, and there's something about the 32 bar form here that feels so tight and delicious. The song is called Mistress Anne. It's actually sung by 3 different people who, well, it'll just be me today, my apologies. I'll sing the main melody of one of these 32 bar choruses here. And the idea here is that these 3 people are singing and watching Anne Boleyn as she is making her way up through the court, and they each have a slightly different opinion about her, but the idea here is we gotta pay attention to her. This chorus actually starts out with a 4-bar intro, and then we do other things. What? What? And the intro has the hook? What's happening here? It starts with this idea of mind, attend, follow, Mistress Anne. I like her lively fashion, it's quite smart. But if she wants his notice, that's the key. That was an A section. Or was it? Can we call it an A? It's not your A in the typical way of it would have the hook and be a particularly catchy and establishing little moment. Definitely builds on the idea of why we are watching Anne. And this one person who's leading this section is giving her opinions on Anne. So we assume that that's kind of the idea, that's kind of the game we're gonna play as we are watching her and paying attention. But again, no hook. Then we kind of repeat the A section again, but with a little change to the melody and to the background vocals of the other 2 ladies as well. So we have continuing, the king he values beauty, love and art. Her tricks remind me greatly, dear, of you. There are responses from the other ladies in between there. So we've gone from this idea of just opinion about her looks to now the king's opinion about her looks. So it's still on the same topic. It's about everyone paying attention. So I guess it's 4-bar intro, A section, then we get something that feels like a B. It's doing something different. There are more background vocals in the B section, just so you know. Following the main lady, though, we have wait, will he wait? Still he waits, and he did. So mind, attend, follow, Mistress Anne. An 8-bar B section that lifts not to another A section, but to something that feels like that 4-bar intro again, but more of an outro. This time around, as we singing So Mind, Attend, Follow, Mistress Anne, this resolves to a lovely just tonic chord amongst the 3 of them, versus the first time we were lifting our chord to a suspension because we had more to say. 4-bar intro, 8-bar pseudo A, 8-bar pseudo A, 8-bar B section, 4-bar outro. And it works so well. For our next interesting 32 bars, we're gonna go back in time a little bit to that period of time between the 2 shows we consider our first book musical, between Showboat and Oklahoma on the other end. This song is a Gershwin song. It comes from Porgy and Bess. I'm sure it will be familiar. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, and don't you cry. Ooh, what is this? It feels like an A section to start us off, doesn't it? In fact, that first A section starts us with the hook, summertime. Right? We say that right away. We talk about what happens in summertime. As this woman is singing this lullaby to this child, then we hit this, oh, your daddy's rich, which goes to a resolution point, but it starts the same way, so it kind of feels like an A prime. There's no hook there. We get to a pseudo resolution. It doesn't feel super resolved, and then we immediately pull back to this feeling right here. Then we do it again, but we don't start with summertime. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing essentially the same music as our first A. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take the sky. Kind of our A prime again, but we're gonna go to an actual resolution this time. But till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mammy standing by. Long outro as you hold that note. And we do end with something that feels like a question, but a resolution. Lovely. But that is not standard by any means. And how long has this song survived in the public consciousness, not just through musical theater? How many pop singers have you heard sing this song? It works. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far or getting any value out of it, please give it a little like so it can spread to more wonderful people like you. Thanks! For our next example, I want to hop back to The King's Legacy for a moment, my show about Anne Boleyn, because there's this weird little song. It's the title song of the show. It's a charmedy song, and it sits toward the end of the show, and it just brings down the house every time. Everyone loves this song. And it's purposely truncated 32 bar, but then it expands to an actual 32 bar by the last time we hear it, because each time we hear this chorus feel, it gets a little bit longer. But even so, the structure of that chorus is weird. The song begins like this. For 20 years we sat and watched as Henry played and ran amok, for his fun weren't done until he bled, or till he found a girl to bring to bed. His daddy left him lots of gold, and Henry spent it on a whim. Guess our king can be a simple bloke, for there's no question Henry went for broke. Some might think it improper that now he has into copper, which makes our dear prince a pauper. And that's the King's Legacy. So, what do we have here? We have two sections that feel like A sections, but they don't have a hook. But they do have a musical section at the beginning each time that makes it feel like a refrain of some variety. This da 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 da. Then we go somewhere else. But when that section comes back around, da 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 times two always, and it feels like a return in a way that an A section does. But there's no hook at all in the A. Then we get into the B section, which is really getting closer to our point, right? This da 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 da. A lot more musically interesting. It is pulling us somewhere. We know that we're gonna hit a landing point of some variety, and we get to our hook at the end. And that's the King's Legacy, landing the idea of the joke, right? They are making fun of what his legacy is and is going to be, which is not at all what he wanted it to be. Now, I said before that this becomes an actual 32 bars by the end, because this first time around we have 8 bar phrases, 2 of them, and then an 8 bar B. That does not add up to 32. In the second time through the chorus, each of those sections, those A sections, gets extended to 10 bars. 10 bars and 10 bars and 8 bars. Closer, but still not quite there. But finally, by the third time around through the chorus, we get a 12 bar, and then a 12 bar, and then an 8 bar, but then we get an extension on it. So the final time through is a full 32 bars in this weird AAB with the hook format, but it does have an extension on the end of it as well. And for whatever reason, this just works. Moving on to a little Rodgers and Hammerstein, because they used to do this thing earlier on in their writing, and it is all over the place, and especially in Oklahoma, where they would write something that's not quite a 32 bar chorus. It is so close. It is shaped like a chorus, it looks like a chorus, smells like a chorus, feels like a chorus, but it's not a full 32 bars. And so I want to take a look at I Can't Say No from Oklahoma as our example of this. First, I just want to point out this is written in 2/4, but it feels like it's actually in 2/2, so every 2 bars is really the 1 bar feel, so just a little caveat before we dive in. We start right away with our hook, this I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go, just when I oughta say nix. A section, beautiful, right? We have our hook right there. It's split into two halves, right, that are parallel. They basically are the exact same music, slightly different lyric, but it is one singular A section. Then we move on to a B. When a person tries to kiss a girl, I know she ought to give his face a smack. But as soon as someone kisses me, I somehow sort of want to kiss him back. A section. We have, I'm just a fool when lights are low. I can't be prissy and quaint. Wait a second. Do you remember how our first A section had the same 4-bar phrase times 2? This time around, not only are we not saying our hook yet, we're only doing one of those. We're not doing the full 2. So we're cutting 4 bars out of our A section. And you might think to yourself, right, well that means we're just doing an extension. It's gonna come out being like A, B, A. Is it though? Let's find out. I'm just a fool when lights are low. I can't be prissy and quaint. I ain't the type that can faint. How can I be what I ain't? I can't say no. I would argue that it's not so much an extension off the 4-bar A bit material there that we had, but a section unto itself. That really the structure of this is A, B, half of an A, and a C, which brings us to 28 bars, not 32. But this whole da 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 da, we're playing a whole different game there in our lyric and in our music. That doesn't feel like an extension of the A, that feels like something unto itself. And they do this all over the place. Even the title song Oklahoma has the same exact structure. And do we even bat an eye at it? No, not at all. All of these examples point to the fact that even though this form is taught strictly, there is still room to play and experiment with this form and still make it work. Because at the end of the day, if it works, who cares if it's a typically structured 32-bar chorus or not? But if throughout this video you weren't entirely sure what a standard AABA or ABAB 32-bar chorus is and how it functions and what it sounds like, then you should watch this video next. Otherwise, thank you all for being here with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers!